Earlier in this PlayPosit video, we've kind of tracing our way back. We looked at organic molecules that contain carbonyls. The answer to that question was yes, just that was covered earlier. But the answer is no. What kind of functional groups are there? Well, it's oxygen. So there's no carbonyl. Then it is either an alcohol or an ether. An alcohol is some R group bonded to an OH, okay, where the R group is not a carbonyl. So an example, using the condensed structure, would be ethanol, ethyl alcohol, or rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Notice what they have in common are those OH groups. There's no carbonyl present in that. What if it has a sulfur? That is either a thiol or a sulfide. They're analogous to the alcohols. What does that mean? A thiol is RSH. So instead of an oxygen, you have a sulfur. And if you substituted a sulfur in for the oxygen atoms for these molecules, if you added that was a sulfur instead of an oxygen, you would have a thiol. A sulfide is the sulfur ether, which I didn't do up above. So an ether is ROR. So an example would be CH3O, CH3. Okay, sometimes I put the lone pairs on there and sometimes I don't. We'll talk about, you have to assume that they're there, but lone pairs are there. And then a sulfide is similar structure motif. It's just you have a sulfur instead of an oxygen. Just creating some more room. What if you have a nitrogen? And again, no carbonyls. Okay, there's no carbonyl. You have an amine. R. So we have a nitrogen that is singly bonded to three other atoms. The R groups in this case could be carbon, could be either a carbon-containing group or hydrogen. So some examples. So we're going to scale everything up. those two. You've got 3 carbons bonded to the nitrogen, the example on the left, or just 1 carbon bonded to the nitrogen on the right. These are examples. I can't draw all of them. You just can't do that. There's way more that exists than could be drawn in a lifetime. And the last group what if you have a halogen? So chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, anything that's in group 7 of the periodic table. Well, those are called alkyl halides. So some examples of those, similar to what you've seen above. That would be an alkyl bromide. That would be an alkyl chloride. Should put the lone pairs on them. Don't have to, but I will. But that top example would be an alkyl fluoride. And those are some examples of that. So it's quite a lot. But you have to be able to construct these to know the functional groups for organic molecules.